Kamala Harris sat down for her first properly adversarial interview of the entire election campaign, and suffice to say it didn't go too well.
How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration, because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right now,
just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point.
Let's just get to the point.
Let's just get to the point.
Doesn't get to the point.
The point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have an
it's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. Didn't bring up that bill.
Responding to the point you're raising,
okay.
And I'd like to finish.
You're literally avoiding the point.
I believe the Biden-Harris administration open border policies are responsible for the death of my daughter.
That's the early days.
But let's talk about what is happening right now with an individual who does not want to participate in solutions.
Blames Trump for something that happened directly as a result of her policy. Don't forget, the main reason they all poured into America in the first place was her administration promising them free stuff and a path to citizenship. She doesn't even acknowledge they're criminals to begin with.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
Taxpayer-funded transgender surgery for prison inmates.
Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender? The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries
you know what, you got to take responsible for what happened
presidency.
in your administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in this presidency.
It didn't happen in his administration, but it will happen in yours. She still can't seem to grasp that Trump isn't responsible for what happened in the first 3.5 years of her administration.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track, that track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Come on.
Madam
You
Vice
and I
President.
both know what I'm talking about. You and I both know what I'm talking about.
I actually don't. What are you talking about?
No, we don't know what you're talking about, and quite clearly, neither do you. Running for president isn't the same as being in power. Why are you campaigning like you haven't been in the White House since 2021?
Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years, so what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we've been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump.
The last decade of Donald Trump. He hasn't been in office for nearly half a decade. You have.
You call Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now
he's
unstable.
He is unstable, Brett.
He's not well. You say he's mentally not stable.
He's not stable.
Let me ask you this. You told many interviewers that Joe Biden was on his game, that ran around circles on his staff. When did you first notice that President Biden's mental faculties appeared diminished?
Joe Biden, I have watched from the Oval Office to the Situation Room. And he has the judgment and the experience to do exactly what he has in making very important decisions on behalf of the American people.
There were no concerns raised?
You literally cooed Biden out of office for being in mental decline. And you can't say when you first noticed he was in mental decline.
Why, if he's as bad as you say, that half of this country is now supporting this person who could be the 47th president of the United States? Why is that happening? So are they misguided, the 50%? Are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. And in fact, if you listen to Donald Trump, if you watch any of his rallies, he's the one who tends to demean and belittle and diminish the American people.
Oh, you wouldn't demean and belittle 50% of Americans for voting for Trump. No, never. Yet literally the previous day you called Donald Trump a fascist.
Donald Trump is about taking us backward.
The other is about fascism. Why can't we just say it?
Yes, we can say that.
You claim they're voting for a fascist who will end democracy. Then 24 hours later claim you're not belittling them. Trump nailed it when he said Kamala spent most of the interview externalizing her obsession with him and barely talking about any actual issues. But leftists immediately rushed in with a massive cope wave.
This was the most adversarial interview Kamala Harris has probably ever done. Instead of getting to debate Trump again, she got to debate Bret Baier. And a lot of viewers are going to come away saying, wow, she's willing to do that. That's a sign of toughness and strength.
Toughness and strength. She talked in circles, failed to take any responsibility for anything that happened under her watch, and came off it looking like a complete imbecile. But they claimed Kamala came across really well and answered all the questions. Really? That's not what the betting markets indicated. On Polymarket, Harris sunk another percentage point immediately after the interview concluded. But apparently it was a home run.
That was a home run because she sent the one message that needs to be sent, which was, I will go anywhere at any time and show the courage necessary to speak to every American, because that's what a real president does. The primary critique against her prior to this point was that she was not doing enough interviews. No one thought that the Fox News interview was going to go swimmingly every step of the way. Everyone knew it would be adversarial, but she showed exactly what she needed to show, which was that she is a leader.
Really? Then why were no less than 4 Kamala campaign staffers desperately flailing around their arms trying to end the interview?
Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, you know, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop. So, Martha, final, I had to dismount there at the end. There's so many things, and she maybe should do more of these. Madam Vice President,
And
they're giving me a hard rap
Well,
here.
I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This after they'd already whittled down the interview length by turning up late.
You know, when the kicker in football, they call a timeout right before he's going to kick the field goal. They're icing the kicker. So we were supposed to start at 5 p.m. This was the time they gave us. Originally, we were going to do 25 or 30 minutes. They came in and said, well, maybe 20. So it was already getting whittled down. And then the vice president showed up about 5:15. We were pushing the envelope to be able to turn it around for the top of the 6 o'clock.
But yeah, she's so brave and courageous for... Checks notes. Doing a 25-minute interview with a major broadcaster 3 weeks before the election. Wow, so brave. We haven't witnessed such levels of bravery since Jesus Christ himself was crucified. Now, of course, you'd expect one side to claim that this was a train wreck and the other side to claim that Kamala put in a stellar, brave performance. But take note of which side is actually playing the clips. Now we know why they've been wrapping her in cotton wool for months and only allowing her to do cupcake softball interviews. Because as soon as she faces any heat whatsoever, she totally implodes.
This is a democracy.
And if you think this was bad, wait until she goes on Joe Rogan. Rogan's obviously not going to be as combative as Bear was, but watching Kamala engage in long-format, nuanced conversation beyond sound bites and blaming everything on Trump really is going to be a sight to behold. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.